Well, the wait is finally over. Yours Completely is coming to you live every Sunday, a show tailor-made for women by women, creating a safe space for women to speak, to cry, and to share laughs. Ntozh Ngomane on the socials. Our very first guest on our very first episode is Charity Hoffman. Charity, how are you?
Hi, Ntozh. I'm good, and yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. On our very, very first airing of Yours Completely, we're embarking on a conversation on raising a boy child. I know you're raising a boy child, and yes, I'm sure a majority of our viewers aren't actually sure. Kindly tell us a bit about yourself.
So I am Charity Hoffman. I'm the colored chick that was adopted by the Swati nation. Yes, and I moved to Nelspruit the year 2000. I'm from Middelburg originally, in a little
smaller
township called Nazareth, where all the katakatas are. But I must say, I'm truly grateful the way things turned out. You know, when your parents separate and you're not sure where you're going to land, but
there's a huddle here and there.
I think it did me good. No hard feelings to Nazareth, but I don't think I'd be like this if
it literally shaped you.
Exactly.
So now, in an era where you are coming from a town in Middelburg, you said, and you're moving to Nelspruit, how has the transition been for you as a girl child? Remember now it's a different environment. How has it been for you?
Ntozh, it was so difficult. You know, growing up in that environment, and now I move, and then all of a sudden, I'm too white for the people that I stay with.
You need to start making new friends.
I need to start making new friends. I'm in a new school, you know. I'm learning a new language. Just imagine that I was born and my home language was Afrikaans. And that's the only language that I knew how to speak.
Now you had to adapt to a new environment and a new language at the same time. So how has it been like, especially at school though?
It was very difficult coming from an Afrikaans school where I did biology, and now I have to do biology. I did wiskunde, and now I have to do math. At first, it felt like I was going to flunk, but I knew I had to find my feet. And by God's grace, everything just worked out. I don't know how, but...
So the transition, did you only move with your family, or you moved with your siblings? How was it?
It's a separation. The parents separated, so my mom moved to Nelspruit, and I moved with my mom.
So you were the lucky child. You were the one that moved with mama to Nelspruit.
You know?
And then now school has started. You are with your mother. You are going through all these changes. So with regards to school, you mentioned that you're now trying to adapt from Afrikaans to English. How has it been from school, finishing school, and now you finding your feet?
You know, when you're with your mother, and then everything just falls into place, because a mother always
falls into place.
Yes, a mother always knows her babies, and she knows how to comfort you and how to make you feel at home. My mother, being the religious parent, then introduced me to a church in Ganyamazane.
A home where we belong.
A home where we belong.
Now, disclaimer, we are in the same church, so yeah.
Yes. So, and then I start going to church, and I must say, being grounded by religion, that made it very easy. It made my transitioning very easy to adapt, because then I took on that lifestyle of being home, being in church, being in school, being at home, being in church
and being at school. So now, I know for a fact that you are part of the worship team in church. Now let's talk about that. Let's touch a bit on your faith, and let's see. You are part of the worship team at El Shaddai.
Yes.
How has that shaped you as a mother and as a young woman?
Not only being part of the worship team, I think being part of the church.
The church itself.
Yes. It sort of gives you it's an anchor, let me say that, because you know people are not only looking at you, but there's a certain expectation.
There's a mirror. They're actually mirroring your character
and how you live. But being saved, I got saved when I was 13 years
Now
old.
that is nice.
Yes. So Christianity for me has always been
It hasn't been a lifestyle.
It's a
who
lifestyle.
You are.
Exactly. You understand? It's not a coat that I wear and then I take off.
And then you take it off.
So it's been me. It's been me.
It's always been you.
It's always been
So
me.
the Christianity part, is it something that you came across after moving from Middelburg, or is it something that comes with you from Middelburg?
So my dad, I'm a PK guy.
Oh, your pastor's good.
Yes, my dad was a priest
Okay.
in a church back in Nazareth. And we grew up basically
You
in
grew
a
up basically in
Christian-
church.
Yes. And then with the move, that is why it was so easy for my mom to introduce me then to a church.
Because that was a lifestyle you were used to.
Yes, that's what she came from.
I also know that you're a mother.
Yes.
Now let's touch base on motherhood. How has motherhood been for you as a young Christian woman?
It's been 4 seasons. It's been controversial because remember, I now fall pregnant while I'm still a Christian.
And you're not married.
I'm not married. And people then are like, oh.
Remember the expectations back then?
Exactly.
Now they're thinking, oh, she's a pastor's kid.
You know,
and so nemdwana.
people
How do you now tackle that?
It's just, I think what we forget is, as a human being, as much as I am Christian, I strive for perfection. I'm not saying that I'm
human.
perfect. I'm
You're
human.
human.
I'm living in a world with sin, and we thank God for grace. We make mistakes. Oday Kliff wrote a song, and he says, a saint is just a sinner who fell down.
But got up.
Exactly. So that is what we struggle with every day as Christians. We do fall down, but we get up, and we acknowledge that we serve a God of grace. We serve a God who's full of love. We serve a God of so many opportunities. Not
Who grants us grace on a daily basis.
Not that we should go and sin
Deliberately.
but when you do fall into, there is grace. So I fell pregnant when I was at, if I can't call it a peak of my Christianity, you know. It made it was sweet, sour, you know.
It was a sweet, sour experience.
Sweet, sour experience. I'm young. I'm in my teens. Still, I was 19 when I fell pregnant. But now where I'm standing at and looking back to my journey, it was all God's plan.
It was all God's plan.
Yes.
How old is your son now?
I've got a 20-year-old
and not you blushing when I ask you about your son.
I've got a 20-year-old.
So you've got a 20-year-old. How has the relationship been with your mother? I know your mom is late now, but back then with your mom and you as a teenager, you're pregnant, you're obviously expecting a child, and you're still living under your mother's roof. How has the relationship been between you and your parents? Inclusive of your father, though, because I know that your father is still in Middelburg. Yes.
My mother was, at first, like any other parent, she was disappointed. She was mad, which was expected. For her, it was, I moved from your father and I'm responsible for you. Yes.
And then so here you are.
Now you bring me this. But nevertheless, she accepted the situation as it was, and she was a very supportive mother. Reason why I say that God's plan is just, it's mind-blowing. When my son is now 2 years old, I lose my brother. My brother dies in a car accident.
Condolences.
And my son then becomes
your
my mom's
brother
comfort.
And your mom's comfort.
And by the way, my brother's name was Comfort. So he then falls into Comfort's place in comforting my mom.
In comforting both you and your mom. And of course the rest of the family. So now your son is 20. You're now having hurdles and also a supportive relationship with your mother in the process. So your son is here. You now need to juggle your life. Remember, were you still in school back then?
So when I fell pregnant, I was in Mitv. So I was just at the end of my school journey.
So now you are a mother. How do you tackle motherhood? awukwati, you have never been a mother before, and then here's your mom trying her utmost best to be so supportive towards you, and then you've got a son. How do you now balance your own life? Remember, as much as you are a mother, you had dreams. Let's talk about those dreams.
So the responsible thing that I decided to do was, because I'm now going to be a mother, I couldn't go to varsity like my peers. And then I was like, okay, I'm now a mother, and then kuna baby phela, who's now my handbag. Yes, I needed to go and look for a job. By God's grace, I got a job in a retail store back then, and I worked to raise my son with no experience.
Nothing.
I think
just grace.
Just grace. It's also a mindset thing, you know, to accept things for what they are
at that present moment.
Exactly. I told myself, I'm not going to let that stop me. I went and I looked for a job. I started working to raise my son. Fast forward, son, so cool.
Fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward. The rest in between
there's a lot of things that happen in between.
But by God's grace, and then get on a better job, you know.
Still raising your son.
Still raising my son. And I managed to take my son to school. I managed to take care of my mom. I managed to build my mom a house.
That's nice. Still in that comfort space.
In that craziness, you know. I think as a woman, we just need to learn to find our feet and make best of the situation where it is at the time. I think it helps you mentally a lot.
I hear you saying, we're speaking so loudly and confidently of your mom and your son. Oh, Pilobabi. In the process of you raising the child, are you and the father still in a relationship, or
Ntozh, Ubaba boy, Enzo, because ungitholeng sese intombi. In my head, I stayed with him for the longest of time because I was like,
the expectations that we have, I think it's the expectations that we have that somehow either lead us to it in the literal right, and at times they don't. So now you are a mother, you're doing all these things. You were with him for the longest time. Obviously, you guys separated. Umjolo after that?
You girl.
How has Umjolo been as a mother, uyasebenda, and you're still living under your parents' house?
Umjolo at this point was not umjoloring, and is still not umjoloring.
Oh, still is not umjoloring?
Still not umjoloring, girl.
Now, how do we date? Let me just generalize this question. What is your opinion, especially dating while you are raising a child, especially a boy child? How do you now juggle umjolo wako and being a mother? And when is the right time for you to introduce the person that you are seeing at the time to say, baby, this is my son, or mfanwam, this is uncle. When do we draw the line about uncle? When do we start introducing about uncle, Ebandon and Bed?
You see, Ntozh, there is no manual that comes for such things. There's no manual that comes for life. There is no good time, there's no bad time.
It's just a feeling.
It's just a feeling, I guess. And it is what you will get from the person that you are seeing that will all lead the process into the right direction. Now, personally, I tried protecting my son for the longest of time. That meant that I was sold out.
Everything so private, so discreet to a point. And Guys, she is single, but I doubt she's searching though.
No.
Are you searching?
No.
So you are content.
At
You
the
have
right
reached
time.
the level of contentment to say, lalela ngiright mina, I'm raising my child and it's okay. Naku ke uyamkhulisa mntwana. And then there's Mjolo. But there's a subject I just want to touch kancane kuyo. Raising a child, I know ukuthi sokhulisa mntwana akho, and then there's your mom. And then obviously you've been with the father of your child for the longest time. But then after that, ube nemuntu. How was it? The relationship between you, the father of your child, your current person, and then having to interact with the father of your child. Ngenxa yalo mntwana. Kwenziwa njani?
That was very easy for me, Ntozh. Yabona lento lo ukuthi sititshele ukuthi we share a bond. Yeah, let's go. Ayikho, guys. Ayikho lento leyo. I simply told baby daddy, lalela, because we're not together, allow me to respect the person who's going to come into
After
your
you.
life. Yes. And allow also for me, if there should be a person, respect the person who's going to come into my life. So I made it very clear, Guti, we don't have to talk. Magwam begasapila at that time. Magwake usapil. The plan was, concerning our son, my mom will speak to your mom, or I will speak to your mom. And yeah, nightina so itu there's no need, because nitina seni need disrespect hana ugcina songa.
And one would call, one would
understand. So the other party has now moved on. I could just imagine how uncomfortable you are making your current partner feel by still communicating with your other partner. I don't know, for other people maybe it works. I'm not saying it's cast in stone what I'm saying, but what worked for me. You know, every situation is tailor-made, and for me that worked.
That was beneficial for you at the time. Because we hear of instances where women would say, or the man would say, there is no barrier. There is no barrier to say, lalela, you can do everything but haila. And then one might argue the fact that you nemundu patangashati. What advice would you give to women out there that are stuck in certain situations?
For me, it all boils down to respect. Remember, in the conceiving of the child, there was love.
True.
In between. What happens now then for us to be able to disrespect each other to such a level, to forget, we once loved each other. You understand?
True.
Let that always not be the foundation, but let us always take cognizance of that.
Let that be at the back of our head to say, there was once that. Because now the common denominator between you and him now was the child. So the only thing that brought you guys together was the child. So moving forward, I know that you're also very well vested in education. What would your advice be to young women out there who are saying, is it something to do with holding your dreams back? Because I know now you're one of those women that are so enthusiastic. What would you say to that woman who's sitting and watching us right now and thinking, but I can't study further?
To that young woman, there was a point in time in my life where I needed to pack my dreams up in a case and put it somewhere. But I didn't burn that case. So now and again, I revisited. When I was at school, I had always wanted to become a psychologist. And I believe one day I'm going to pick up that book and study towards my dreams. But at that time, I needed to do what will make my son grow.
Exactly.
You understand?
And that is you putting that suitcase aside, because you now had a child to take care of. So
right now, I'm studying towards my honors degree. By God's grace, it'll be enriched soon. But invest in yourself, young women. Like, don't let your past failures or your past mishaps hold you in a dark place where you feel like you can't go on. there's always a way. There's always, when there's will in you,
there's always a way. Skule bantu labadzala bathi liphupha life mina kade asaphila. And when you invest in your dreams, the rewards are endless. Looking at you now, your son is 20. What is he currently embarking on currently?
He is in some university in Johannesburg.
A single mom.
Yeah. But it's God's grace, you know. These are accolades that you cannot
pat yourself on the back for.
I always tell everybody I have a conversation with, it's never my doing, it is only God. So it's very important. We're living in a very cruel world that even though you try to instill good, the
environment around them
still has the potential of depositing much more that we are depositing.
True.
So the only way that we can hold our children is in prayer.
Because we can't be a canopy over them all the time. All the time, we can't do that. That was absolutely beautiful. We are showing us charity to invest in your dreams because the rewards are endless. Thank you so much for coming through. Before we let you leave, we just want to find out that 2 seconds, Nyana, that you'd want to say to that woman who's watching us, besides education, besides faith, what is it that has kept you grounded that can help that woman who's watching us right now?
For the young women, for the women that feel she's lost, for the young women that feels like she's trapped, there's always a way out. There's no need for you to die alone. Sikhona sibaningi. And for us, I don't want to say who have made it, but who have already found our feet and made a path. Let's not forget to pull those who are behind us.
Well, that was it. Our very first episode of Yours Completely. Follow us on MyTV Network on all our social media platforms. We go by MyTV Network on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. A special thank you to Neldorado Villa for allowing us to use their premises. Neldorado is located here in Nelspruit, Mbombela. They've got all the facilities available, whether you want to do your conferences, your private parties, or just want to come through, have a glass, and also come through and wash your car. They are available. My name is Ntozh and Ngomane. Follow me also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok. And to sing us out, you know, Gutsushito Wati Yena. She is part of the worship team at El Shaddai Kanyamazan Charity. Sendele kahle sis.
Lord, I will lift mine eyes to the hills, knowing my help is coming from you. Your peace you give me in times of the storm.
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, from me and the rest of the team, is good night and God bless.